So today we are at the Oliewenhuis Art Museum here in Bloemfontein, where the rich culture of the Basotho people is on display through the Sutha Fete art exhibition. I just want to immediately at this point just show you in my background one of the most famous Basotho blankets, which is called the Siana Marena blanket. This one is worn by Basotho. It is celebrated as one of the best art pieces that a Mosotho person can wear. I also want to bring in the education officer here at the art museum, Baidumetse Molwabi, just to talk to us about this exhibition. I know that the exhibition is going to be here until mid-November, and people are invited to come and experience the Sesotho culture, the Basotho culture, through their blankets. And I see that you are wearing one. Just firstly talk to us about the blanket that you are wearing today.
Hello, I am wearing the Siana Marena pony design. Like you alluded in your intro, we have two designs on display right now, which is the chromatic design and the pony design, which were designed by the Robertson's family and became one of the most famous Basotho blankets we know of today.
Now, during the walkabout, which was done earlier, when they spoke about the Basotho blanket, there's a certain way that a person is supposed to wear the blanket, and there's a certain way also that a man and a woman wear the blanket. Can you just explain those differences to us?
Well, gladly. Okay, so the cultural way, the Basotho blankets has two sides, a darker side and a lighter side. As a woman, I wear it on the lighter side, so the lighter side is on display, and then usually the men wear it pinned to the side and the women pin it more to the middle, and the vertical lines are always the lines are always supposed to be vertical to sort of represent fertility and growth as a person wearing the blanket. Yes.
And then what does it mean if I were to wear the blanket with the lines going horizontal?
You're not actually allowed to, but I've seen that in the more the culture grows, people wear them differently. But there's the right way, the culturally and traditionally right way to wear it is with the stripes facing vertically. Yes.
I know that the Basotho blanket is very important, and it is one of the most iconic, one would say, items for Basotho people. But just give us a brief background of, where does the Basotho blanket come from for those of us who don't know?
Okay. So, when you come to visit the exhibition, you will see we curated it in such a way that you can follow the history of the blankets from the beginning. So if you look at the earlier designs of the blankets, they're more simple with less motives on them, and as time went on, the different blankets signify different things in the culture. Like, for instance, this one is usually worn by a bride when they're getting married, or to just show respect, the type of respect or dignity that you have as a Mosotho person. There are different blankets for like initiation and botsetsi, which is a new mother. So the blanket is if you watch also the video that we have on display, that it will explain to you that the blanket, each significant milestone in a Mosotho person's life has a blanket that is associated with that particular era or particular event that might be happening in their lives. So it is part of their everyday culture, but it also is a very significant indicator of certain things in your life.
Just talk to us about this one. It looks quite interesting, quite intricate. And also, I remember what was mentioned during the walkabout also, that the Basotho blanket does not necessarily come from Lesotho. You know, just talk to us about that as well.
So initially, if you look at some of the older blankets in that side of the collection, the label says Victoria made in England, because originally the blankets were made in England and then gifted to Mushweshwe. When he wore it, it became a significant cultural event that took place. So they are currently produced in South Africa by Aranda. The Aranda has the rights to produce the Basotho blankets, but previously they were made in England and then came via trade, via trade. So the different design. So the one, but the Basotho people, it gave them prestige that these blankets came from England, but it posed a challenge that they were no longer made in England. So when you look at the blankets, there are ones that will have Victoria, England, which are the more prestigious ones with more cotton in them, and then you will have your normal everyday blankets which don't have that label. So it's quite an interesting history, which is documented very well throughout this exhibition. Yes.
And now, perhaps lastly, just talk to us about new designs that are coming in into you know, should I say display, because there's older designs and then there's also new designs.
Yes. So interesting enough, the Aranda, like I alluded, are the now but the main manufacturers of the Basotho blankets in South Africa. So they have decided to incorporate, just as we see that the blanket has changed over the years, the designs have changed and the others have significance, others are everyday use. When you walk through the middle of our exhibition, these are all designs from the newer Basotho people, which are designed through the competition at Aranda. Yes, it's quite interesting if you look at the difference between the newer designs and the more traditional older designs. Some of the designers have decided to keep to the tradition. You will always see the sort of the lines, but some of them have taken a different view on how to go about the newer Basotho blankets. Yes.
Thank you so much for that information. That was by Dumetse Molwabi, just talking to us about the blankets, the Basotho blankets. Of course, the exhibition is called Sutha Fete art exhibition, which is displaying all the different types of Basotho blankets. And of course, we've seen the different ones. We've seen the Bakwena on the other side. We've seen the most famous one, Siana Marena blanket. But behind me is one of those new designs that she has been talking about. With that, it's back to you in studio.